I'd first like to start the show off by complimenting my coworker, my colleague, if you will, uh, Joseph. I don't know if you did it because of COVID. I don't know if you did it because of your new job. The baby face is back. Nobody thinks you're 100 years old or has Benjamin Button disease. So congratulations.
This for our
Finally,
loyal 3 YouTube viewers right here, dude.
that's for the loyal viewers that to get to see your baby face, because this is what I saw every day in high school. And before we became friends, I thought he was a year younger than me. So I was just like, sophomore year. I was like, hey man, like what grade are you in? And you're like, oh, Shanudia, we're in the same age. I was like, nah, man, you're definitely like an eighth grader visiting the school, getting ready to go. The
You're a
round
little
classes,
nervous. You had some anxiety,
yeah.
so you got a special pass to tour the
And then
school
and
this
then
year.
and then I knew you were in Stonebridge when you were dapping up teachers like they were your best friends.
Did you not remember me from the Ashburn Jaguars?
No, I remember you from the Ashburn Jaguars, but you know people have different ages on in freaking
Besides that
AYFO.
advanced of an athlete where I got moved up, did you really think that was my? I want to have
I
a
got
talk,
moved.
young duty.
I hope you know I'm a year. I'm supposed to be a year younger than everybody. I only played football because I was fucking twice everybody's size because I was so fat.
I think we were both a year younger than everybody because we had Alex Miller, right? And I was chunky too,
Yes.
baby. Chunky boys for life, as we will always remember
Brad
him.
Johnson. Brad
Brad,
Johnson was on that team.
Brad Johnson. We had a bunch of old. I mean, Dexter Rogers was
Doritas,
basically 35 at the
Dexter,
time. Shout
Ben,
out to former free
Grayson.
therapy guest.
Was that the year we had a girl kicker or a girl on our team and she quit?
Did we have a Sarah Fuller? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not
I
sure. I
think we
don't
had a
recall.
girl because I still remember.
But
I do remember one particular team I was on with a girl, and I looked at my dad, and because we were doing Oklahoma's, and they put the girl with me, like to
be
go
careful now.
hit
Don't
her.
get us canceled.
I'm not gonna get us canceled. My dad was just like hit her, and I was like not like that, like just hit her like normal. She signed up, and I was like, fuck. I ended up not
Shout out to
tackling
Pops for
her.
that.
I did not tackle her, and my coach made me run laps. He's like, you got to treat everybody the same. Point of the story is, if there's a girl playing football, treat them the same. Don't be an asshole about it. That's it. So there you
Yeah,
go.
try to stop Sarah from kicking 50-yard booters on you. You never know.
Exactly.
But
Well, so all
real
the
quick, before we get into it, I also wanted to remark on the babyface was constantly had its advantages all the time, as I would be in love with some of the cafeteria workers. They loved me, gave it back, got free cookies every single time, dude. Sometimes they would let the account go into about as high as I believe I had $110 negative one time. Got a free cookie and a pizza that day. Let me tell you, the baby face has been working wonders for years.
Yeah, I mean, you were the guy that would sling cookies at the end of lunches and be like, "Yo, I got the cookies, fam.
Oh,
$1,
facts.
$1, $1." Yeah,
Facts. You had to sling those cookies out there in that environment. You had to somehow, some way beat the Hunter Lipsky candy bar game, and that was a tough game to
oh,
compete with.
the Hunter Lipsy candy bar game. Even though I wasn't a part of it and I didn't really see it. That just shows the man was a hustler, still is a hustler. He would sling crack if
If
it
it
was
was
legal.
legal, certainly.
Mm.
Well, if it was barely legal, that man's always find ways to go up and under and around and about exactly what the line is. And speaking of that, nude, we were off last week. By the way, this is Joey Dorn or Little
Mm-hmm.
Joe Ooh. Across from me, or this time, and across the interwebs, is my good partner, as always, Michael the Pharaoh Shanuti. How you doing?
Yes.
How you
Yep.
feeling today, buddy?
I'm feeling great, dog. I'm glad to see your baby face, man. I'm glad we're back. You know, I can't say much about certain things in my life, especially football. But you know, when you squeak out a playoff spot by .7, you kind of think your luck is endless. But that's what happened this weekend. Sorry to shout out to Reckless Eckel. It was you I
Did
had
you
to do
did
it
you
to.
make it in all 5 of your leagues?
So 9 leagues,
No,
and
I know, but that's more of a cue to me that, of course, thank you for asking. Yes, I did make it in all five
yes,
of my leagues.
you made it in all 5 of your leagues, 9 leagues. So I kind of am feeling burned out now. So I'm gonna have to cut it down to 5.
Are you?
So there is one that is legitimate nonsense. Shout out also to our ex coworker, Iceberg Craig. It's his league. There's no money. There is no trophy. So I tend to not forget. I tend to forget that lineup.
What?
So that one doesn't count.
Iceberg,
So
what? Hey,
Yeah.
Iceberg, he still listens, right? Iceberg, I know you still listen. Listen up. What the fuck, dude? $100
Yeah.
buy-in? Listen, you have a good job. You make a decent amount of money. Why am I motivated to try in your league? You know this of all people. I am shocked that there's no monetary value or prize at the end of this league.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why I didn't care, and I ended up playing Josh Jacobs the other week, and I just forgot about taking him out. So, hey, it's not my fault. Anyways, but
We've all
five
been there.
leagues, five out of eight. So if you don't count that league, that's about 75%. So I'll take it. I don't know if my math is correct, but it's above it. So
No. No. 5 out of 8 would be about 65%, my friend. But you were
I'll take it.
close.
I'll
Close.
take it. I'll take it. As one of them being a dynasty league and having all your players go either insane or retire, and you get it back because of James Robinson and DeAndre Swift, I'm with it. So
Hey, by the way, we buried congratulations, yada, yada, yada. Fantastic. Nobody cares you made the playoffs. Nobody cares I made the playoffs. We care that you made the playoffs, though, and we're going to give you the way to get to that championship run here a little bit later. But first, and you buried my wonderful transition that I did with Hunter Lispy as he used to tiptoe those lines around the candy bar business. And the NFL continues to tiptoe, cross around, bend around, and do whatever they possibly can do
talk about my
to
brother. Talk
just
about my
barely
brother.
avoid that line. Dude, as we stated, we missed last week due to some COVID scares ourselves, and we took the proper protocols. We wanted to make sure everything was hunky-dory. Little Joe Ooh went ahead, thank God, has a negative COVID test, but some of his chitlins went ahead and did test positive, so that's why we had to miss last week, and I had to get those situations straight, just as I always like to make sure our viewers know. But someone that didn't handle the proper protocols, did not handle it correctly, dude, was the NFL. I mean, it's basically saying, hey, you know what? And I'll call Four Corners Studio out here totally. Let's go ahead and let's make sure that Thoughtology gets a whole entire week, maybe 2 weeks to rebound and recover and to make sure that Mariah is good to go. But free therapy, let's get a host in there. Who cares if Joe has COVID? We're gonna get somebody else in there to talk about feeling good and anxiety and all that fun stuff, right? That's exactly the way I see this right here. The NFL sees somebody with a good storyline that they like. They're invested in Lamar Jackson as another face. That is slowly but surely dying, as I have made official here on my public service announcement on this podcast. And they're trying to keep that storyline alive by any means necessary. A team that's playoff bound versus a team probably not playoff bound, not at all, that had a situation where they're low market, they're not the biggest fan base out there, and especially in their heydays of the 90s, and they do okay, but by no means were they a playoff bound team. And they go ahead and, for our old adage, they start me and Chanuti as a combo at quarterback 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
To me, this was just blatant disrespect. This was blatant trying to keep a team that we see more value in versus another, and trying to keep a storyline alive versus who gives a shit about this team. It was just absolutely appalling, shocking, and it made me sick to my stomach, dude. Where did you come back from this? I mean, our bar for Roger Goodell was not even lower to finish up my rant here. It has officially gone straight down beyond a place of hell.
It's the lowest. I mean, I've talked
Beyond
about
a
it
place
many
of hell.
times. I mean, you know how I felt about Roger Goodell from the very beginning. I think he's Hitler. I think he's somebody who doesn't give a shit about anything. He is by far the worst commissioner in American sports.
As we say on this show, would kill his own grandmother than his children to keep the season
exactly.
on.
And even a lot of people said it. Like, I've talked to people, and I'm gonna brag here. I have a friend who works at ESPN, and she even said like NCAA,
Humble
Roger
brag.
Goodell, same thing. They don't care. They care about their dollars and cents, aka why Ohio State is gonna make the playoffs after they just destroyed a rule. They destroyed a rule that they had in place from the very beginning. They're just like, no, we want Ohio State in, so fuck it. The 6 games, that doesn't make sense.
Even with do you think that, to her point, against her point a little bit, the only argument I would make with that is, now Michigan went ahead and canceled the game against Ohio State this week, right? So that directly fucks Ohio State, right?
There's rumors, obviously. I mean, you can't just say, when they say COVID, you can't really say, are they faking, are they not? But there's a little bit of a faking thing in there. Now, this gets to my point of like the NFL too, right? They pretend like all teams are equal, but no team is equal. Let's be fucking honest. They wanted
Mm-hmm.
Ravens. They wanted the Ravens to try to be good. They wanted the Ravens to beat the Cowboys because it sets up for the Ravens and Browns Monday night, right? Because if the Ravens beat the Browns, that puts the Ravens back into playoff contention, and that puts the Browns, if they win, they're 2.5 games behind the Steelers for the divisional play
Right.
for the division, and
Yep.
they also would basically clinch a playoff spot. So why am I saying all this? Is because the competitive edge that they gave the fucking Saints is ridiculous. Because the Saints, when they got a free win, is now in control of the number 1 seed over the Green Bay Packers, over whoever wins the NFC West, Rams, Seahawks, Cards. It doesn't fucking matter, Joey. Like, it pisses me
Right.
off to the point they just gave a team a free win. You
Right.
just told the Broncos they don't give a fucking shit because you guys don't matter, because you guys are not going to win anything with Patrick Mahomes in your division. The Raiders doing good. Chargers have the offensive rookie of the year and Justin Herbert. They just basically said, go fuck yourself. And credit what? No, it's not going to be Gibson. I'm sorry. I wanted to be Gibson, but Gibson's hurt now, so you can't say much. But no. He's hurt.
I'll get you in a little bit.
That's not me dissing. Isn't he hurt? Yes or no? Is he hurt?
Yes, he has turf toe.
Okay, end of story. Point is, the NFL always wants to make sure that their stars will always have their pathway to success, a.k.a. Mahomes, a.k.a. Lamar, a.k.a. Drew Brees, a.k.a. Tom Brady. They don't give a fuck about everybody else. Who cares?
Literally, Google right now, face the franchise listeners. Google right now, teams with the most net worth or teams with the most value or monetary value. And you will see it is teams like the Washington football team, named to be determined at a later date, surprisingly, because they do make a shit ton of money. The Dallas Cowboys, the New England Patriots, the Los Angeles Rams, the Kansas City Chiefs. If you've won big recently, or you've already kind of been that household name for decades on decades, like the Cowboys have, like a Washington football team named to be determined at a later date, but probably not has, you'll see those bigger values. And a team like the Ravens, who kind of came out of nowhere, right, at the end of the century there, and then went ahead and popped out and absolutely exploded and now have this huge value as well, and did the rare achievement with them there. So, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. This is just a clear, we want our storylines, we want the teams that we feel matter the most, and then we can go ahead and let another team start a practice squad wide receiver at quarterback. I mean, that's just, come on.
Yeah. I mean, it just shows that the NFL just didn't give a shit. Like I said, like, especially when the guy even said to him, even everybody around the NFL were like, what the fuck? And it, like, praised the guy for doing it. Like, I praised the guy for even trying. Like, he could have said, no, I don't want to go out there against one of the better defenses in the NFL. He tried. And that's all I could say about the guy. But for them to put the Broncos in that position, you are basically saying, go fuck yourself. And
I would say Saints are about middle of the pack, but yes.
On defense?
Yeah.
That's a hot take. But anyways, it's just, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I still can't believe it happened. And it just shows that the Ravens got a break and everybody else got the short end of the stick. I don't know. I'm just surprised. I want to see, I don't wish this because I don't want to see it happen. But if Patrick Mahomes got it, they have to shut down the league for 2 weeks. I bet you $10. If Patrick Mahomes got it, shut down the league for 2 weeks. They'll regroup, and we'll see what happens.
Let everybody recover. Pray for Patrick. Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, it's just like shameful. It's embarrassing, and it reminds me a lot of Monday at 5:00, and probably how you were feeling around 7:30 Monday.
Okay, hold on. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna, because everything you're gonna say is probably true. I mean, well, I'm taking the Joey route. I'm gonna preface this. Sure. I will not say anything to Joey because I have similar sentiments on the Steelers probably as what he's gonna say. Now, with that being said, continue.
This does come with a quick disclaimer as well, before I go in here. Pharaoh Shanuti, my partner in this trusted podcast that we are going to take to the stars, went ahead and answered the phone call after this matchup that I'm about to talk about, and like a gentleman, went ahead and just said, here I am. It is what it is. Here's my butthole. Go ahead and fill in that gaping gap. And now is my time. I said, you know what? I'm going to hold off Let me do some squats. Let me do a couple sit-ups. Let me get the thrust pumps going. And next thing you know, come Friday, my dick will be ready to insert in that butt. And it certainly is, buddy, because boy howdy, the Washington football team, named to be determined at a later date, did what no one thought they could do. Did something that everybody slept on, except for this man right here. I truly did believe, and I would have picked them, would 100% would have picked them if we had a show last week. I wish we certainly did, so I can make you eat it even more. But I literally want you to get on your knees, Nude. I want you to get on your knees. I want you to wag that tail, and I want you to eat this shit. Because I cannot believe what the Steelers continue to do. And listen, I've been saying since the jump, I've been saying they're a good team. They have been, getting by and winning when they need to win. But that's the key word. They've been getting by. As we've mentioned several weeks in a row here, they continuously play to the level of the team. And as you know, and as it has for many a years now, it will bite you in the ass. And this team, and the Washington football team, named to be determined at a later date, was exactly ready for that from the Steelers. They were ready for them to not really play to the level the Steelers are fully capable of, and they took advantage. Listen, everybody thought they were down and out 14-0. We're all scared. Listen, that's what the football team has been doing all season long, is coming back and winning games. And look at it. We've had just as many, if not more, close games than your Pittsburgh Steelers, dude. We simply have. And we have not been on the right side of the stick for some of them, but we are getting it together here. That defensive line looks fucking insane. I don't know what is going on with your Steelers. I use that old adage, me and you could catch more balls than Deontay Johnson, Ray McLeod, Chase Claypool, and JJ all could. And I mean, it is just, and they, I know you're thinking of some others that are popping in your head as well, but Deontay probably the most to blame there. I mean, it's like you guys just expected to walk in and to win this game, and that's not what a Super Bowl winning team does. That's not what a team that even wants to get a bye in the playoffs and win their division does. Shout out to the Washington football team for doing what nobody thought they could do. You heard all the cliches. You've seen all the memes this week. David versus Goliath. Da-da-da-da-da. You saw the Jim coming in and popping Dwight's bubble this week. You saw it all, and we deserved all of it. We are going to ride this wave. I'm not normally one to jump on that bandwagon. Yay, Washington football team, named to be determined later date, wins one. Woohoo, we're going to go to the Super Bowl. Right now, I am riding that wave out. We are at least playoff bound. We can win our division, and if anybody wants to doubt that, take a look at the game on Monday. We dominated. We have a clear presence. We have a clear rhythm. Even when Antonio went down, still bounced back, and that offense put it together. Holy shit, my dick has never been larger. It grew 3 inches this week. I will show it to you, maybe on this podcast if you were lucky. Nude, thank you for letting me go off, sir. How the fuck are you feeling, my good friend?
Well, people are going to sit here and say, well, Mike Shinuti, Pharaoh, you're going to defend the Steelers, blah, blah, blah. Absolutely not. Abso-fucking-lutely not. Now, this will go into my disappointment.
That's why I went dick insert light on you. I just inserted the tip in a couple inches. A couple few inches.
I have told you since the Cowboys game, that if this Pittsburgh Steelers team plays like this, game in, game out, we are not going to beat no one. We're not going to beat anyone. We're not going to beat the Titans. We're not going to beat the Browns. We're not going to beat the Bills. We're not going to beat the Titans. Forget the Chiefs. Forget the fucking Chiefs. I'm talking about those other teams. I personally said that's what's going to happen. Now, granted, we looked good against the Bengals. Congratulations. We looked good against the Bengals. I mean, it's great. Grand. Fucking wonderful. Now, let's talk about Monday now. Let's talk about Monday night. We were up 14-3. I wasn't happy. I still wasn't happy. We were up 14-3. I should be happy. I should be like,
smell the blood in the water?
I smelled blood in the water before this game even started. I said the game we're going to lose. I said the game we're for sure going to lose, even before the whole Ravens fiasco, was going to be to the Washington football team. Because here's the deal, Joey. I'm glad we lost. I'm glad. I'm going to say the fucking Tomlin thing. I'm glad we finally had a wake-up call. I'm finally glad that these people finally understand that our offense is shit, that our defense has been saving our ass week in, week out, and that Ben Roethlisberger, yes, he's throwing great. He's throwing fine. But you can't let a fucking 38-year-old quarterback throw 50 fucking times against a defense that keeps blocking your goddamn balls. You had 6 tries at the 1 yard line. 1 yard line. You threw 5 out of 6 times, and the one time you run to the defensive player of the year, Chase Young. Are you fucking dumb? Are you actually fucking? I was gonna say a word that wasn't PC, but that brain power did not work. I saw that. That did not work. Now,
or the brain power did work and you surged through.
Exactly. So here's the problem. Connor was out, right? Pouncey was out. That's fine. That should not be a reason you shouldn't run the ball. You have a rookie who looked fine. McFarland looked fine when he ran the ball. If Benny Snell's not working, if Jalen Samuels is not working, run the fucking ball. Run the fucking ball with a rookie. And your 4th and 1 was a pass play to him. He's a rookie and our back on the depth chart. Why are you throwing a ball to a rookie running back? Like I understand the wide receivers weren't catching shit. Now I'll get to that later. But the play calling was absolute dog shit. Now for the defense. I don't know who's playing middle linebacker this week. We've lost everyone.
Real quick, too. I'm sorry to interrupt, buddy. I just wanted to clarify this is Nude's disappointment of the week. We are now in our disappointment of the week. Go ahead, Nude.
Yeah. There is nobody playing defense anymore. I don't know who's playing defense. We're going to probably play fucking me at fucking linebacker now. That's not an excuse. You still have fucking Minka Fitzpatrick, who is nowhere to be found on deep balls. You have Joe Hayden, nowhere to be found. Now our other corner was out, but that doesn't mean shit. Sutton played fine. Where was everyone? Where was everybody on the defense? Yes, everybody's dealing with injuries. Wake up. You're still the best defense in the fucking NFL, and you look like that? You look like that? You look like that, Joey?
Yeah.
No, I understand.
You let one of the worst offenses in the league outscore you 20, I believe it was 23 ultimately to 3. That's a fucking problem.
I'm so mad because it's somewhat the offense's fault. When you get 3 and outs all the time,
first 20 to 3.
That looked like if Duck and Mason were quarterbacking that game again. And here's the other problem. Yes, I understand our kicker was out, but Mike Tomlin, dude, you got to kick the ball. Like, you got to at least try. Like, at this point, you knew your offense wasn't doing anything. Kick the ball. You got 2 touchdowns. I'm sorry, that we're very lucky. James Washington, like, spinned off a dude. Like, the dude didn't know how to tackle, and he got a touchdown. The other touchdown, I think it was it
well, Holcomb knows how to tackle, but he just got him on a bad play. That was Holcomb.
Exactly.
And it averted. And
when you
out to a great season so far, Holcomb, besides that one play. But.
Now here's a Michael Schnudy, let's wrap it up kind of thing.
Okay.
Pittsburgh Steelers, if they do not come out and play the Buffalo Bills this Sunday, great. Like, I don't care if they win, I don't care if they lose. If they don't come out here and show people that they can compete, like I know that they can, especially with these drop passes by the wide receivers. And I'm glad Mike Tomlin said it. He's just like, I don't care if your name is Juju, I don't care if your name is Chase, I don't care if your name is Deontay. If you can't catch the fucking ball, get off the fucking field. And that's good. Yep. I'm glad. Mike Tomlin finally said it. He's like, you guys are sipping your own juice. You guys are sipping your own Kool-Aid. Time to wake the fuck up. We're playing a team. If we lose to the Bills, listen to this. If we lose to the Bills and then we lose to the Colts or the Browns later on, because I'm going to say 85% sure we're going to beat the Bengals. And the Bills win out and we lose another game, they hold the tiebreaker. So we'll be third. When we were at first the entire time, and then we'll go all the way to third, and then we'll probably play like the Titans, the Browns again. Like, we'll play a poor team. So I don't want them to have the bye. I actually don't want them to have the bye because now it proves one thing.
Why?
No. You see, I know I saw that face because you remember that whole stigma of rest and rust and all that shit. We will definitely be rust. Our offensive coordinator will pass it 50 fucking times in the playoffs. We need to make sure that people understand that we need to just keep being hot. Keep being hot. That's all. If we're winning all those games, I hope the Chiefs become the number 1 seed and we become the 2 seed. I know that means we'll have to travel to Arrowhead, but fuck it. At this point, fuck it. I'm just disappointed in everything that is Pittsburgh Steelers until this Sunday, hopefully. But if we lose to the Bills in horrible fashion, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to believe. We're going to make the playoffs. That's great, grand, wonderful. I thought we could compete. I don't know, man. That was just all around. I'm disappointed.
I'm just glad to see one. I let me look a little closely. I don't see you sweating. I saw that was mostly even keeled. your anxiety seemed tempered at most, and I'm just really proud of you for that. I'm proud that you got through that. I'm proud that you got through your offensive coordinator deciding it was a good idea to throw the ball 53 times. And I'm glad you got through the poorest performances of your wide receivers. I ultimately it's for me with the Steelers right now. The two things is you're come out, that defense doesn't play like, and we'll wrap it up here in a second because I know we got to move on. But you come out and you don't play like that defense whatsoever, and you gotta fire the OC. What's his name again, dude? You gotta fire that.
Ryan Fitchner. Trust me, I asked for his head.
Yeah, and it's done with him. You guys are, because you've had one of the best defenses you've had in a long time, in my opinion. It is the reason you got as far as 11-1 right now. But I'm telling you, it's gonna keep biting you ass. You guys are very susceptible to a second loss in a row this week. We will see, but the Steelers need an answer on offense more than anything ASAP.
That's the thing, right? Is what Steelers team is going to show up? It's either going to be the demise of the Steelers with this loss, or it's going to be the wake up call that they really needed. Because what I saw against the Cowboys, what I saw against the Ravens B squad, what I saw against all these different teams is they think they could do these certain things and get by, which they can't. Now that now that their defense is kind of decimated a little bit, like the offense needs to hold on to the ball and need to sustain drives, get points. Like, I'm not even saying touchdowns. Like, just get some threes here and there. Like, try. Like, don't pass the ball on 3rd and 1. Run. Just run the ball. Like, just run it. Let's see what it can do. Why are you giving up on the run after one play? Like, that just didn't. I don't know. Sunday night. That's all.
I'll go ahead and I'll give you some relief. We'll move on to my disappointment of the week, which was the Miami Dolphins. I understand they won 19-17, but they've been I swear they heard. As we know, everybody in the NFL listens to this show. We're highly regarded, and I guess the Brian Flores and the team went ahead and listened to face of the franchise, got too cocky that they were on the Joe's most consistent team of the season so far, and then since have dropped the ball. Yes, I understand they've gone 1-1 since I've said this, but it has looked like, honestly, I don't want to say a Dolphins of old, but damn near. It's not the offense explosion I expect. They lost a little bit of luster. I don't know if it's the fact that they're winning games. They said, oh, hey, Bengals, and they went ahead and got that classic we're winning mindset, and that was almost a trap game for them. It was almost a not to steal a thing from another show, but Hungry Dogs Run Faster sort of deal.
Right.
And I expect more from this Dolphins team. They are at a certain level with me right now. Tua's performance, yes, everyone's saying crown him, da-da-da, yada-yada, he's the guy. And I've almost said that too, and he had a good game. 26, 39, 260 yards, 1 touchdown. I just need this offense to get that explosion back. It's again, an offense that I think can almost be like a Titan story of last year in these playoffs, but they need to go ahead and pick up wherever that hot streak was in October, halfway through November, and find it again, or this team's in big trouble.
Yeah, and I think it's just like when you look at, like you said, you look at their schedule. They're the team that has the most to lose because Browns played both the New York teams, which should be good. And I'm not and if they beat the Ravens, they're pretty much in. Colts do the same thing. Raiders pretty much the same thing. And who else? Titans. I mean, Titans are the division leaders right now, but if the Colts and them switch, they'll be in. I just don't understand. Like, why couldn't they just ride Fitzpatrick? Like, I still don't. I mean, Tua did fine. I understand he's doing okay. But Fitzpatrick, when he played, what game was it? When he came in for Tua, when Tua was hurt with
that was I believe 2 weeks ago, and that was the let me just double check here for you, Nude. Yeah, that was the slow computer. Yeah, that was the Jets game where he didn't. I believe it was like 10-3 right? Going into. It was 7-3. That's right, going into the third quarter. And yeah, they said Fitz magic, come and bring the magic. And you got to ride the hot hands. It's same adage in NBA, same adage in baseball, same adage, you name the sport, ride that hot hand. Football's no exception here. And listen, I think Tua is the guy for the future, like you said. There's no doubt there. But especially when he's coming in, and I understand you want to send a certain message to as our guy, consistent, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But why not do the dual quarterback when you guys are hot like this, when the other quarterback isn't doing too well? It's worked. to some teams, detriment, yes, I understand in college, but it also sometimes can play off incredibly well, especially when you kind of have the situation you do
Right.
in Fitzpatrick.
Right. And that's the thing. Like Fitzpatrick brought the juice and he was winning. It wasn't like he was losing. I think really what it was is you saw that Burrow and Herbert did for their teams when Burrow was healthy. They were like basically matches. Like they lit up their team.
Yep.
Like their team were in games. Now
Yep.
I think Flores was like, well, Fitzpatrick is not the youngest guy. We do need to see what we have. But at the same time, like you're in a playoff race. It's not like Herbert was an unfortunate situation with Tyrod, and that's happened. But Burrow was drafted to be the guy. There was nobody really there to mold him. And then you have Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tua. Ryan Fitzpatrick was winning with that defense. He was winning. Like I don't know, man. I don't know what the season might have looked like if he started the entire time, but I would assume they would win a couple more games that they lost because Tua didn't really wasn't it hasn't been a world beater is what I'm trying to say. So.
Right, and then let's also be clear. This is a 9-4 team right now that no one gave them credit to be, which is pretty damn impressive. Or 8-4, excuse me, but still, I mean, pretty damn impressive. No one expected them to be at this point, but now that you are, we're setting certain expectations with you, Dolphins, and we need you to live up with it. And yeah, like Nude said, Fitzpatrick is the clear hot hand. Let him right out, especially when this dude is struggling a little bit. And this could be a 9-3 team, or even a 10-2 team in some respects, because most of their losses have been close. Have been very close, dude, within 3 points. Actually, all 4 of their losses have been within at least 7 points that I'm looking here now. So again, this is a team that could be way ahead for the first time ever in that AFC East that we at least thought it was going to be. Not so much anymore. We'll see. But I want to hear that surprise of the week from you, Nude, as I know you got a call here in a little bit. So we'll move it right along.
No, I mean, the call is sporadic, so we'll see. But now it just looks stupid because now we record on Friday. But the Pats beating the Cardinals was kind of a surprise.
I knew you were going to say this.
Cardinals were.
By the way, most boring game of the year last night. I know we didn't even really decide to touch on last night's game, but can we just both agree most boring game and move on?
The most boring game. I got to look at the stat sheets. I think I saw one more boring game than this. It was dumb. It was dumb. Like last night.
I mean, shout out Cam Akers, I guess, but
yeah, I guess Cam Akers breakout game, I guess. So
for sure.
Good luck with everybody who drafts him in like the 3rd or 2nd round next year, thinking he's going to be a great player, and then they're going to do the same shit. Anyways, I digress. But Patriots, man, they win in different ways. They killed the Chargers and they beat the Cardinals. At some point, you thought they were a wagon with their defense and their special teams. Obviously, offense looked like shit because Cam Newton looks like he looks hurt. He looks hurt throwing the football. Like the man just looks like he puts his entire body into a throw that doesn't even go 10 yards. Like it's
45-0 against a pretty good Chargers defense.
I joke a lot about like Lamar being a running back, quote unquote. Like Cam Newton might not actually need to be a running back at this point in his career. Like the dude cannot throw a ball. Like, and it's terrible. Like, and the 45 points, everybody's like, oh, they scored 45 points. They had how many points on special teams? How many points defensive turnovers?
Yeah.
Like the dude had 69 passing yards, I think. Like I might be embellishing, but I think it was really, 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 really low. And he had 2 rushing touchdowns. I think that's the thing is people like to think Cam Newton is like this great quarterback and shit like that. It's all running. It's all RPOs. It's like a college game I'm watching sometimes. Like the dude just it's what the Denver Broncos tried to do when they didn't have running quarterbacks.
You got that right on the head, by the way, buddy. You dirty birdie. It's 69 yards he threw for against the Chargers.
Oh my God, nice. First of all, very nice number. Thank God. I mean, a whole lot of sex. But
boom, 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 boom.
I mean,
my dick grew another inch.
Even though they lost yesterday, just the fact that they could have a winning season is crazy to me with how Cam Newton looks. And that's why it's a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It was a pretty big surprise, 45-0. You especially expected this team to compete a little bit more, especially the way the Pats defense has been looking for the most part. Sometimes you see shades of old Pats defense, but for the most part, it's been disgusting. To put up a goose egg, for the Chargers to put up a goose egg was the biggest surprise for me of all. I mean, everybody has an off game, but that offense just looked completely lost, and it was definitely the best game of the season for that Pats defense. My biggest surprise of the week, though, Nude, is, I mean, and it's pretty obvious. I almost picked them for the other team here that lost as my disappointment, and that is the New York Giants. New York Giants, you saw the great clip this week, even though I don't agree with it. They feel like they are the hottest team in the NFL right now, coming back, and they've won 5 in a row. Or excuse me, I believe 4 in a row, correct, Nude? And
yes. Yep.
Yeah, four in a row at this point, which, as we know, is no small feat, especially when you were playing like the Giants did the first half of the season. I think another team by the name of the Washington football team, named to be determined at a later date, who did slay the undefeated Giant, no pun intended, certainly deserves the hottest team right now, at least in the NFC least. But the New York Giants continue to play a good game. That defense might be kind of legitimate, dude. They look pretty damn good, and that offense does enough just to barely get that job done. Gallman continuing to spaz for the most part, and then Danny Dimes getting it together here, and they look like a better team without Saquon. And the Seahawks look like, I mean, it's like they were in a switch body movie, right? It was Freaky Friday, and they went ahead and switched bodies to the Seahawks switched bodies with the New York Giants, and now the New York Giants are a successful team that everybody's keeping their eye on. Let Danny Dimes cook, and then everybody is looking at the Seahawks like they are the poorest Giants at this point. I mean, that's what they've looked like the last month, dude. This team is lost. I don't know what's going on with Russ. They look like that team that we saw the last couple years every once in a while that would pop up where it's like, how does this team even fucking score? I mean, you shut down DK, and what the fuck are they going to do? Carson, they barely gave the ball to Chris Carson. I think he averaged about 6 yards a carry when it was all said and done, but only got the ball 10 times. So I don't understand what this, once again, that Pete Carroll offense continues to just absolutely butter me. When you think it's a running offense, it's not. When you think that, okay, they're going to let Russ cook, they don't. Do you have answers for me, Nude? Because I am baffled, I am mystified, I am mortified, I am absolutely confused.
Here's the deal, right? You tell everybody you want to make Russ cook, right? And they literally run the same fucking plays every time. Like, I noticed it, right? It's DK doing the post, and then Tyler Lockett doing like a slant, and then outside of those two, once they're covered, it's Russ run the ball. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And like, going back to the Chris Carson thing, he's clearly your best back. Why aren't you running him to the ground is what I'm saying. Like, it's the same thing with kind of like the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Jones. It's like, free these guys. Let him have 20 carries. Like, what are you saving him? Yeah.
These are both guys that are capable of, literally, if you give them 20 carries in a game, they're going to get you minimum, in my opinion, 120 yards. Minimum.
It's frustrating when teams have good running backs because, like, I'm going to go back to the Steelers. We do not have a clear good running back. Sorry, James Conner. But when you have a guy like Chris Carson and Aaron Jones, who are clearly the best back on your team, you can feature the other guys pretty limitedly because the other guys can do what the other guys are doing, a.k.a. catch the ball, running up the middle, something like that. Fuck them. I'm just pissed. I'm very pissed. So I'm okay with that. Fine. We'll see what the Seahawks do. I still have the Rams winning the division still, but we'll see what happens next week with the Rams and the Seahawks.
Again, we can toss it all up to the COVID dream year, right? So
yeah, I guess. Anyways, but the game that caught my eye this week is actually a round 2 kind of thing. You have 2 things. One, a division rival can always find a way to make a game close. And 2, when you have a guy named Taysom Hill, you might be actually better off.
Yes, sir. What I tell you? So what have I been preaching?
Saints versus
you all laughed. You ignored me when I said run that Wildcat with Taysom and Alvin. You all ignored me and did not respond. And look at it now, even though it's not Wildcat. It has been beautiful.
I like 2 things. I really do like 2 things. That Taysom Hill has the moxie to be a good quarterback, and he just doesn't give a fuck. And number 2, Matt Ryan might be the worst quarterback I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I feel bad for Julio. I feel bad for.
Can I just? I'm sorry. I can't let something go. I got to do an interrupting Joe here. Listen, it feels like all year I've been telling you things, whether it's waiver wire pickups, whether it's, exactly what's going on with the team, like the Dolphins, like what the Saints need to do, and you continually ignore it. And then a couple weeks later, all of a sudden it's Nude's idea. All of a sudden, Nude thought of it, Nude got you on board with it. And listen, I don't appreciate you derailing my genius foresights of the future.
So let me tell you why, okay? My
Uh-huh.
mind plays the game. What is Calvin Ridley?
Tell us why you hop on the correct train after a couple weeks and try to clean the train.
Just listen. I pick
I'll try.
Matt Ryan every week because Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley are top 25 wide receivers.
Didn't address what I brought up, but that's okay.
What? Why I don't pick up your waivers?
No, you literally you go at like this week. So spoiler alert: your waiver's Daryl Mooney. I've been saying the last 3 weeks, Mooney. It's and then I said I can go back. I can list the references. You do it to me all the time, and then again, Saints and Dolphins. You denied until it started to show up, and then all of a sudden you're on board with it.
What?
You're an idea stealer. It's okay.
I steal one guy because the one guy is Daryl Mooney.
And Saints, Dolphins, and I can bring you many other waiver wire pickups from this year that you went ahead and a couple weeks later after they went off, and I said I had them way ahead of time. You went ahead and picked them up. I'm just saying.
You're a bum.
I'm just asking you to be honest.
I'm being honest. Okay, you want me to change my fucking pickups? I'll finish my own pickups.
I'll agree with it when I originally say it instead of getting on board a couple weeks later.
I never said your picks were bad. You said my picks were bad, and that's why I was going after your picks. You were like, Michael, or Shanudi, your picks are awful. And I was like, no, dude, it's not awful. You just pick and choose which ones are awful. That's what
I told you what the
say.
Saints need to do. I told you what the Dolphins needed to do, and you hop on board a couple weeks later after ignoring my ideas. But no, I'm sorry. Continue something about Matt Ryan, quarterback, yada yada.
Anyways, point is, I lost my train of thought. Anyways, very good game. I came down to the wire till Julio Jones trying to catch the ball like it always does. Didn't happen. Saints are a wagon. No matter if Drew Brees or Taysom Hill are in the backfield. We'll see if Taysom Hill's there. But anyways, yeah. So now we can go on to the fucking other portion, you dickhead.
Wait, I still have a game that caught my eye this week, of course, after I threw you off there. But yeah, no, listen, just to add on to what you were saying a little bit, I know I derailed it. Taysom does look fantastic, as I said. He would, and he has his team running pretty decently. Has his first 2 touchdown passes last week. This team looks pretty good. They look confident. They're running well, and I really like what they're doing right now as they're a 10-2 team. So with that being said, game that caught my eye was Raiders and Jets. That game had me on the edge of the seat. I just wanted to mention this game because I believe it was the best game of the week. Jets almost won one. I'm sorry, guys. You had your hearts torn out again. You got blue-balled one more time with one of the best plays of the season by Derek Carr. And this offense needs to stop, deciding to show up when they want to show up. I think this offense is capable of much more when they want to be, as we've seen in the Chief games, as we've seen, and they play well against difficult opponents and then go ahead and kind of phone it in with opponents they should be expected to beat. I was really hoping the Jets got their win here, but that game was just a fantastic game.
Right, and I credit to Dr. Heat. He got fucking booted.
Dr. Eat.
Dr. Eat.
That was one of my favorite moments of Week 13. But as you alluded to, let's go ahead. We'll move right along to our waiver wire pickups of the week. But before we do, Nude, it is that time, the time of the year that is most dear. No, not the holiday season. It is fantasy playoffs. We are going to get you to your championships. We know we don't care about our playoffs, even though Nude made it in 5 out of 8 leagues, we'll call it, I guess. And I made it in 5 out of 5 leagues in the playoffs. Thank you. And we just want to give you our yearly reminders of what not to do in the playoffs this year before we give you the pickups to win you your game this week. Nude, why don't you start with yours, buddy?
Hey, I'll start with my one of the biggest detriment to a team is playing guys by name. So I brought up to Joe in the pre-show, Miles Sanders. So Miles Sanders has been a headache, and he's been good certain weeks. So lately he's been a headache. Now there's a quarterback change. So be careful with that. They still are playing Saints, who I think is a good defense, even though Joe thinks he is in the middle of the pack. It's still Jalen Hurts back there.
They
It's
definitely
not.
are middle of the pack.
We will
That
see what happens.
secondary is all I have to say. That secondary is why they're middle.
So I brought up. I everybody picked up Ty Johnson probably because of what happened. So if you
It
have
was
to
easy this week, yeah.
if you pick up Ty Johnson, Frank Gore doesn't play.
I think
mean,
even if Frank Gore doesn't play, or even if Frank Gore does play, even if Frank Gore does
play, Ty Johnson,
I think they're going to ride that hot.
He has to have a clear path. If Frank Gore, for me, it's going to be a clear path. But my point is, be careful with the names. Be careful of injuries. Get your lineup set correctly to the point where you feel comfortable. Because if you play somebody like CEH or Miles, you are swallowing a pill that says they might not go off for you. So just be careful. I know there's studs and there's duds, but make sure that you understand that some studs look like studs, but they're actually duds.
Kind of well said, but good point. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I agree with that totally, man. You don't want to go ahead and buy in just because it's a name. Like, I think Le'Veon Bell's another good example for some of you that, and if you are thinking of playing him, you probably luckily got to the playoffs. But yeah, I don't buy into those big names, especially if they've been having an off season. Don't force it, but more importantly, don't overthink it. Is my advice to you all this year. Go ahead and what's been working out with you, what got you to this point is trusting that gut. Look at the matchups like you've done all year. Don't take it any differently whatsoever. Do what got you to this point, and you'll be okay. The ultimate playoff run killer is the overthinking and trying to put out some Mestifo and some player that you think is going to offer 30 points because you analyze the matchups correctly and yada, 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 but it's really like a third string back that's going to get 4 carries. Don't overthink it. Do what got you here. Keep it simple.
Exactly. So now with that being said, Joe, start us off with your quarterback pickup.
Quarterback pickup is a repeat once again new, but it is a necessary repeat. And I got a couple repeats this week because there's some reason people still aren't listening to me in these picks, even though as I've already mentioned, my waiver wire pickups have been stellar this year. With that being said, Golf still 50% owned. It is Jets week. If you're a little nervous about Lamar, if you're not sure about Taysom, throw in Goff. That is something that you can definitely rely on. He's definitely feeling himself, and I think he's going to go off on these Jets. I mean, it's Jets week. If not, then Carr again. Listen, Carr again as well. Still, I believe 49.7% owned in the ESPN leagues. Someone that is going to get you 25 points every week. He just is. He's going to throw up the numbers. He's somebody that's just going to get those stats. He's getting kind of in that Matt Stafford level in terms of fantasy numbers, if you ask me. And speaking of that, Stafford is still available as well. And if both those quarterbacks are available that I just mentioned, go get Matthew Stafford.
All right. So my quarterback pickup is definitely a guy that shoots on and off the field, Philip Rivers. Guy did good against the defense last week, but Sam Darnold was ripping the Raiders, and guess who Philip Rivers gets to play? The Raiders. Also, one of the best yards after catch running backs is Jonathan Taylor this year. I do like Philip Rivers. He found it. I guess him and T.Y. are now on the same page. So T.Y. is also somebody you can pick up too, but I didn't put him in there, but you can pick up T.Y. too and try. I mean, Philip Rivers could do some stuff. He is available in a lot of leagues. So go out there if you need a quarterback. If you're desperate, he might be the guy for you. So
he's been targeting Ty heavy the recent couple of weeks too, and I know a lot of people probably drop Ty. I would say go get him while you can.
Hand up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Catch him.
Yeah.
Catch him.
Good for him. That's all I'm going to say. Good for him. I'm not picking him up.
So I had an obvious one this week, and that's just because I haven't had an obvious one all year. Nude already mentioned it. It is Ty Johnson. I just think, and he still is available in some leagues for whatever reason. Sometimes people during playoff week like to stick with their team. That is a guy that, especially if you're feeling a little thinned out at running back, which we all have at a certain point this year, then go get Ty Johnson. It's somebody that I think is going to continue to get touches after he proved himself last week with that hot hand. Listen, in my opinion, you get 22 carries, 120 yards for a touchdown. You usually at least stick around for a little bit in the league, and they at least stick with that hot hand somewhat. So he's someone that's still going to get touches for you.
Right. Now, for running back, I honestly don't remember who I put for running back.
For running back, Nude had Peyton Barber. Tell us about it.
So Peyton Barber, as we alluded to earlier, turf toe for unfortunate rookie of the year candidate,
Mm-hmm.
Antonio
Thank you.
Gibson.
Thank you. I
He
appreciate that. Thank you.
Now
You got
people
it
are going to say
correct.
McKissick, but honestly, Peyton Barber had 15 carries once Gibson went down, and he was the goal line back. So if you want somebody who has a volume play and can get the touchdown in the goal line, why not Mr. Barber? You need players to play. Gibson is out. Play Barber, and you'll be fine with him.
Also, to your point, McKissick is somebody that is more a wide receiver option in that game. He is somebody that's probably already likely picked up in your league, as well as he's 60% owned in most leagues. So, I think Peyton Barber is good now, because that's exactly what the Washington football team named to be determined later date will probably not do, is they love, especially Ron Rivera loves that, if you don't have a Christian McCaffrey, which we don't, loves that double tight end or running back set, and also are switching in running backs in and out. And also, again, Barber's going to fill in that Gibson role.
Exactly. So my wide receiver, as you alluded to again, I guess he was on the train, but I feel more comfortable now to pick him up. It's kind of like you have to feel comfortable.
After he snapped, after I told you to pick him up, now you feel more comfortable?
He's not. He didn't even snap. Like you're
saying, what
is snapping?
He had a good game.
Yes, he had a good game. Here's the reason why I'm telling you to pick him up. Houston Texans defense is shit. It is absolutely awful. It's terrible. Mr. Mooney has the trust in Mitch Trubisky. Now Mr. Trubisky is a guy who's a gunslinger.
Mr. Mitchell Trubisky.
Mr. Mitchell Trubisky. Throw the ball.
Right.
I'm not calling him Mitch.
Lord Mitchell Trubisky. He's a lord.
So there you go. Mooney is a good pickup. Try to play him. I did say T.Y. Hilton too. That is also a guy you can pick up. So go find these guys, play them if you need them.
I love that. And you know what, Newt? I gave you shit, but guess who is on my list for wide receiver this week, as he's still only 19% rostered. And Newt, can we scream it at the same time? I think you know where I'm going here. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Tim Patrick.
Right.
Go get Tim Patrick. You were not synchronized with me there at all. That was horrible. Who cares? I love it.
I didn't know how to yell. I was going to just yell. So.
You are in a professional work environment, I understand, but even though you still did disappoint me, Tim Patrick, and I'll say it again, Tim Patrick. He is the most targeted person on this team. Well, not the most targeted person on this team totally right now, but the most targeted person in the red zone right now. That is who Drew Lock is loving and wants some more of him. I don't know why the fuck you haven't gotten Tim Patrick, but he will literally win you a game this week, Tim Patrick.
All right. So my tight end of the week. I know tight end is very icky. But if we think the Washington Redskins, there's one thing the Washington football team.
You remember that song?
Icky.
Icky Vicky, ew! From the Fairly Odd Parents. Come on.
Oh yeah, that's true. That was from that. I also remember the Chip Skyler, the white teeth.
Yeah, let's go. Chip Skyler got a shout out on the podcast. Let's go.
So Jordan Reed, who scored a late second touchdown. Nick Mullins is a gunslinger as well. He is from the same college as Brett Favre, the guy who never saw a pass he didn't like. I mean, at this point, dude, like you're playing a Ferris wheel unless you have Travis Kelce, Wallard, and I would put T.J. Hawkinson. So they'll try Jordan Reed. One thing that I did see in the Steelers game, they did let Ebron try to catch a lot of balls, even though he dropped a lot of them. So if Jordan Reed can at least catch them, he'll be wide open. So, yeah,
I like that a lot. I do. Let's go ahead and hope he gets the targets he should. But it's a tough pick. But I think if you're deep in some leagues and need a tight end, that's not a bad bet. I like Drew Sample. I am once again throwing out Drew Sample there. Last week, seven receptions for 84 yards. Listen, he is a guy that is going to be heavily targeted for the most part, especially with that wide receiver core of the Bengals a little beat up. So go get yourself a Drew Sample.
So I guess this goes against my defense pick of the week, but I don't care. It's going to be the Cowboys. I know everybody's going to talk about, well, why the Cowboys? Their defense is shit. Well, you know what's funny? When I was watching the Tuesday night football game, is if Lamar Jackson did not have the legs that God blessed him with, he would have been sacked 12 times. So if that's the case for Lamar Jackson, imagine what they're going to do to Brian Allen with that awful offensive line. So go out and try to get Cowboys. Try to do what you can do. Don't be smart. don't outsmart yourself. Be smart. A backup quarterback, Gio Bernard, go get him. So.
I like it. I love it. I want some more of it in that game, particularly because I want the other defense. This is going to be, they might score 6 points total at most. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play the Bengals defense, which actually did pretty well last week. Nude 9 points. I like them again here against Cowboys. I also had the Cowboys as well. That game, just in general, is going to be just a offensive shit show, and defense is going to be spectacular, but it's definitely going to be better than the offenses will play.
Right. All right. You ready to rock? Your favorite?
I am ready to rock and roll.
Wait, did we say defenses? Yeah, we said defenses. Continue.
Yeah, Sorry. What you smoking, Bob?
I'm drunk. Continue.
Drinking on the job once again, classic nudie style. I'm gonna have to have a talk with your boss, but before we do that, let's go ahead and both your bosses, since I am your boss as well, let's go ahead and go to the gambling corner. This week, we will start off with the Tennessee Titans, and I will go ahead and lose the voice right now. And we are going to see the Tennessee Titans coming to, as I always like to say, dirty, dirty, birdie, Jacksonville. Tennessee Titans are obviously favored here, over under 52.5. Nude, who you like, who you love.
The Dirty Birds, huh?
By the way, quick side note, can we get a t-shirt, or first ever t-shirt, and it just says, Nude, who you like, who you love?
We can, but if this is the over's going to hit. Let's just say that. The over's going to hit. And I think both these quarterbacks are going to come out and start firing, even though Julio is out. I will take the Dirty Birds -2.
I will you'll take the – I'm sorry, who?
Wait, what game? You said Dirty Birds.
Jacksonville Jaguars or Tennessee Titans.
What are you saying Dirty Birds then?
Dirty Birdie, Florida.
Oh my God! I'll take the under.
Listen, you got 2 years. We went through this last week. You got 2 years. Listen, proved you wrong 2 weeks ago when you thought yada yada yada, and I was correct.
No, I didn't say you're wrong.
Oh, when I asked you to say the surprise of the week, and you thought of something else. You got 2 years. Be a good partner. Let me just say, Titans, Jacksonville, Titans favored -7, over under 52.
Titans and under.
Okay, you got Titans in the points, or Titans money line.
Money. No, give me the points.
Give me Jacksonville +7. Give me the over.
All right.
Moving right along to a game we've already mentioned, and it is, of course, Joe's dumpster fire game of the week. It is going to be the Dallas Cowboys versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Cowboys are coming to Cincy. Cowboys are favored -3.5, over under 42.5.
Cowboys and the under. Cowboys money line.
Cowboys money line in the under. I'm going to be different here. I'm going to say Bengals. Bengals. Money line. Money line.
Like it.
In the under. I hate that game just totally. I hated my pick too. Let's just move right along.
Go next, please.
To my game of the week. Kansas City Chiefs coming to Dirty Birdie, Florida, in Miami, to see the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins +7 here, over under 50.5. This game scares me a little bit, Nude, but I can't wait to watch it. Who you like, who you love.
Give me the Chiefs and the points, and I'm actually going to do something opposite. I'm going to do the under because I feel like they're in cruise control in Kansas City. So give me the under.
I'm going exact opposite. I love Nude and Joe on the same pages so far this week, as I am going over, and I am going Dolphins to cover.
Nice.
Also, Nude, we'll finally have our full results next week. I am loading up the work on myself to get our records, but we will have it next week. With that being said, moving on to the next slate of 4 o'clocks is going to be Indianapolis Colts going to see the Las Vegas Raiders, Dirty Birdie Las Vegas Raiders, of course, and it is -3. Colts are favored here, over under 51.
Raiders to cover and the over.
Raiders to cover in the over. I am going to be almost Nude and Joe on the same page. I am going, because we know I haven't been high on the Colts all year, still not. Raiders money line over.
Mm-hmm.
Or Raiders money line under. Excuse me. Sorry. Moving right along to the Jets versus the Seattle Seahawks. They are coming to Seattle. Oh, plus 14 for the Jets. Over under 47.5. Nudes. Do the Jets get their first win here?
No, they don't get their first win. I'm gonna go with the Russell is pissed thing, even though he's not ever pissed, but he's kind of internally pissed. I'm gonna go Seahawks. Oh, give me Seahawks minus 14. Fuck it, and then over.
First, Nude and Joe on the same page. I will go ahead and go Seahawks minus 14 and the over as well. Moving right along to the Green Bay Packers are going to Dirty Birdie Detroit Lions, and they are favored -8. Of course, the Packers are, and their second heading matchup of the season. Over under 55.
The defense of the Packers does play well, but I still will do the over, and then I'll still do Packers cover.
Almost Nude and Joe on the same page here. I got Packers -8 and the under. Moving right along, we're going to go to the Atlanta Falcons versus the San Diego Dirty Birdie Chargers. The Falcons are -1.5 favored here, and it over under is 49.
Well, while I messed up, I said it. So Falcons to cover, and then give me the over.
Yeah, I didn't even catch it. That is rare for me. I am disappointed in myself. All the viewers caught it and be like, why isn't Joe calling him out right now? I do apologize. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go. So do you need to revise another pick then?
No. That's my pick.
I wasn't sure. Okay. Oh, yeah, you did say it. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go. Chargers bounce back here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just feeling ballsy all over the board. I hate half these picks, and that's why I love them. I'm saying Chargers, money line, and my dog of the week, Nude. They are not going to come back after a 45-0 blowout and blow another game, in my opinion. I understand they're 3-9. I still really like this Chargers team, and I'm going to go over here. Next game we got up, New Orleans Saints versus the Dirty Birdie Philadelphia Eagles, plus 7. The Eagles are over under 43. Nude, of course. Who you got? Who you like?
New Orleans and over. I don't think you can do anything. It's a rookie quarterback, dude. I'm gonna go with the over and freaking the Saints. Fuck no.
I agree, as I don't believe Jalen Hurts is any type of answer any way whatsoever. Let's go.
No.
Nude and Joe on the same page. Second one of the day, especially because that total is so low. With that being said, I like the next game very much. The Washington football team, named to be determined later date, but probably not, versus the San Francisco 49ers. Oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Washington football team, named to be determined later date, but probably not. It's getting close to be lunchtime here, and I'm getting hungry, Nude. But they are dogs here at +3. Over under is 43. Who you like, who you love?
Well, I gotta ride the Washington football team at this point. So Washington football team to cover, and then I'll say the under. I actually think the under will hit.
I'm gonna go ahead and I will take the cover and the over here. I'll take the cover for the Washington football team, named to be determined later date, but probably not. And the over here. Almost had our third Nude and Joe on the same page. Not quite. And for the Sunday night primetime game, the game where Nude will be shitting his pants and having a heart attack at the same exact time. It's what we call a number 6. The Pittsburgh Steelers are dogs for the first time this season.
Good.
Against the Buffalo Bills at home.
I'm fucking glad.
At +2. Over under is 48. Nude, who you got? Who do you like?
So I have the score at 24-21. I don't know who's going to win.
What?
But yeah, 24-21 is going to be the score, final score. I don't know who's
no matter what
winning for. No matter what. So I'm going to go under with that prediction, and I really do want to. I really do want to.
Do it.
Give me the Steelers.
Do it. I'm going to go ahead. I love it. You said what? I'm sorry.
Steelers.
Not a big shocker there. I'm going to go ahead and go with the same. This team has been played too good at certain points this year not to. Again, they are a play to the level of their team. I think they go ahead, and I think this is a Bills game that we see a little bit of kaput, especially against that Steelers defense. So, yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go with another dog this week. Not my dog of the week. However, I'm going to go ahead and go Steelers money line, and I'm going to go with the over here. But Nude,
Wow. Go.
cue those horns, brother. Strongest ending yet. I loved it. And this is the Monday night game that we've already mentioned a little bit as well. I think another great game of the week is going to be the Baltimore Ravens against the Cleveland Browns, competing for that wild card spot pretty much in this game, as we've already mentioned. Ravens are favored here in a game that you just hope they both end in a tie, Nude. You hope they both somehow all get COVID and then don't play and their seasons are over. I don't know if your views are that dark
this week.
But Ravens again favored -2.5 here, over under 47. Who you got? Who you like, News?
So I'm going to be unbiased. They both quarterbacks look pretty good after last week, so I think the over is going to hit if both of them stays consistent with that. Defensively, I don't know where to put the Ravens or the Browns at this point, but this is tough. This is a hard game to pick. I'm going to pick the Browns, though. I'm going to pick the Browns.
I'd say Browns is a top 10 defense right now.
Browns money line.
You know what? Fuck it. I want one more Nude and Joe on the same page, and I would also take the over at 60. Again, this is going to be an over. This is going to be a Browns victory. Nude, beautiful show, baby.
Thanks, man. And as always, thank you for jumping on. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Eyesight Glassware, the mobile eyewear company. First of all, I'm doing the Eyesight first. And
Let me go back up. Yep.
Go to their Instagram at Eyesight or their website, eyesight.com. I, like the letter I, and then site.com.
Okay.
And go to
eyesight.com.
Stuck Up. The premium wear for
the finest fashion
creation
money can buy.
Finest fashion money can buy. I say premium wear. It's a premium It's a premium sweatshirt.
Finest fashion money can buy.
Right. Premium sweatshirts, premium shirts,
finest
premium
fashion
shirts.
money can buy.
Can I finish? And long sleeve shirts. Now, finest fashion money can buy. Please follow them on Instagram for any new logos, any new designs you guys want to see. Also, go to stuckup.com.
Winter Wonderland drop. Sorry to interrupt. Winter Wonderland drop coming soon. For Stuck Up.
I'm the Pharaoh. That is the Little Joe. Stay breezy. Stay easy. One love. What's so